Hi bombshells, my name's Amira and welcome to the video. For today's video, the topic we're going to be talking about is probably one of my favorite topics that I could talk about for hours, is Batman. But specifically for this video, we're going to talk about the new Batman movie set to release in 2021, and right now it's titled as The Batman. Kind of hoping maybe they don't stick with that, but we'll see it. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about the new one since we've been reading a lot of articles lately that have been coming out about casting choices, and as we can see in the past, Warner Brothers and DC movies definitely have had a struggle with casting. Suicide Squad, Jared Leto, Ben Affleck, you get my point. Basically, I got into Batman because of the Dark Knight trilogy, and I think what made the Dark Knight trilogy really well was casting, storylines, so much to it. Heath Ledger was obviously a genius in that role, and you know, rest in peace, we obviously miss him. So I kind of want to talk to you guys about your thoughts and opinions and mine on the new casting that has been announced so far. And the first one, the main one, obviously, that we're talking about is the new Batman. So they have casted Robert Pattinson, which at first hearing that, it was kind of like, I wasn't exactly disappointed, I wasn't exactly excited, but I definitely wasn't throwing him under the rug yet. Obviously, everyone knows the Twilight series. I actually was a Twihard back in the day, so I do not fault him for that or penalize him for that. Robert Pattinson actually has done some amazing work in his portfolio. I know he does a lot more indie films, but they're actually pretty intense and he does a good job in those, so I don't discredit him as an actor at all. So hearing the news about him being the new Batman, I wasn't so like, ooh, what are you doing there? You know, I'm kind of giving him a chance, and I was kind of seeing, okay, like what direction are they going to go in? I personally was not a fan of the Ben Affleck Batman. I wasn't even a fan to hear that he was going to be the next Batman, because hearing what they were trying to go for just confused me. They said that they wanted kind of an older Batman. They were trying to go into the more retired phase of him, but yet they didn't keep Christian Bale. So that part just kind of confused me, and I know Christian was really wanting to still be the Dark Knight and, you know, go with that role, so it's not like he was like, hey, back off, I don't want to do this. So I didn't really understand where Ben Affleck came into him. Now, Ben Affleck has good movies. He's shown his chops in directing and acting. I'm just personally not a fan, just my taste. I haven't really cared for anything specifically that he's done, and I just couldn't visually see him as a Batman. Maybe a Bruce Wayne, maybe. He's got that like thing going on, but not Batman. And I was really attached to Christian Bale, so you know. So hearing Robert Pattinson, I'm like, okay, now we're going back a little younger. So with that, I was like, okay, well, let me see what you're going to do with the rest of it. So then the next news that I heard, which I was very excited to hear, was Catwoman. For one, I was very, very excited to hear there was even going to be a Catwoman. There has not been enough Catwoman in the cinematic universe for my taste, because Catwoman is my absolute fave, as you can see. She's inspired my look for today. I've just always loved her. Personally, there's not a lot of women characters, I think, more in the DC universe that I don't really, I guess, get attached to. I think Marvel has more for me, but Catwoman has always been like a #1 girl of mine that I just fan over, obsess over. I definitely choose her every time I play MK versus DC. So yeah, I like Catwoman, and I don't think I've really gotten to see her truly how I want in cinematic. And I know what you're about to say, Michelle Pfeiffer. Okay, here's with that. Michelle Pfeiffer was a great Catwoman. I am not going to deny that. However, that movie scared the hell out of me. It is creepy. It is weird. It's done well. It's just not my cup of tea for a Batman film. And she was very, I don't know, psychotic, erotic, however you want to stem it. She was just a little strange for me in that movie. I mean, it's not like she did a bad job, but I guess the Catwoman that I love from some comics and even from video games, I just like that really like sassy, mysterious vibe that she has to her. Is she going to be good? Is she going to be bad for the day? I've always shipped her and Batman together. I love them together, and I love, you know, even just her as Selena Kyle and the differences. So I feel like I haven't seen that much of that yet. I thought Anne Hathaway could have been a really good choice, but they didn't really give her a lot as Catwoman. I think it was more Selena Kyle than anything else. In The Dark Knight Rises, I think she portrayed that part of it really well, like messing with Batman's head and, you know, just kind of showing her inner struggles and that part of her character, but we really didn't get a lot of action out of her as Catwoman. So I am very hoping and praying that in this next Batman movie, maybe we will get some more out of her, especially with the casting choice they went with. Thank you, Jesus, Zoe Kravitz. Now, if you don't know much about Zoe Kravitz's work, I just think the girl can act in that she's already has a huge range of portfolio of movies that she's done. I mean, one of the first things I saw her in was the Divergent series, and even though that series flopped, I don't think she did a bad job in those. And then even her small role in Mad Max, and then she's just been doing more and more things. And I watched her in Big Little Lies. I think that's what the show's called, the HBO show. She did really, really well in that, and I think specifically her in that show is showing me why I think she could be a good Catwoman. Catwoman, I think, naturally has a strong sex appeal to her. I think she has a lot of confidence to her. She's just very, like, she doesn't have to try too hard. She has this mysteriousness to her, confidence, all of that works for her when she uses that towards Batman. So I think Zoe Kravitz could play that very well. Zoe Kravitz has a very, like, natural beauty to her. Looking at her parents, it's not surprising why. She definitely gets that a lot from her mother. So I think because she's able to just naturally look that beautiful and have that, like, dark, mysterious vibe, I think could work really well. I personally don't know her in, like, in an action sense that much, so I don't know how she'll carry out that part, but I just think visualizing in the costume, if they do it right, I think it could work well. They just can't go Halle Berry cheesy way like that. No, they can't do that. I think what's gonna work in Zoe's favor is that she's naturally got that beautiful confidence vibe where she doesn't need to try hard. So as long as they don't push her to where they're trying too hard, I think we'll be okay. And I would be interested to see what her chemistry with Robert Pattinson would be like. I think they both understand the indie world, so I don't know. I think they both have the acting chops that hopefully it works well together, but we won't know until the movie comes out. So I'm actually, you know, I'm giving DC a chance, and especially after the Joker, which looks like there might be a sequel to the Joker, which is even more exciting news, because if they try to pull that Joker into this new Batman universe, maybe finally we will move into a direction where I can be proud of DC again, because lately just, I don't think they've tanked as much as people think, but they're just definitely weren't moving in the right direction, especially if they want to compete with Marvel. I mean, they need to stop trying to be Marvel and just do what's right. And that's going into more serious, dark tone, which I've definitely got out of the Joker. So I think if they stick with that and just stop the cheese fest that they were going with, we might get somewhere. So a couple of other side roles that we were hearing about for Alfred. I was reading about Andy Serkis. Don't know if I'm saying that right. Don't come at me. He is a great actor, and unfortunately Alfred is not like the biggest of roles. He's not the biggest of roles, but he technically is a big role in that Batman would definitely not be able to survive without him, and he's definitely kind of a huge mastermind behind everything. And now with Andy playing him, I just think like even 5 minutes of Andy is gracious to any movie. Andy is an incredible actor, and I specifically say that because I was first introduced to him in 13 Going on 30. And in 13 Going on 30, he plays Jennifer Gardner's boss, and he's gay. And then you see him voice Caesar in Planet of the Apes and be completely opposite of the gay. So just the simple fact that Andy could like warp my mind where he can act in those different roles, and then seeing him in the Marvel world too as that like crazy robot arm, he's great. So I just think even getting him as any casting choice in the movie is smart. I think if they really want to start elevating their movies, I think thinking about who they're actually choosing to be in the movies could be a huge step up to finally getting the audience to maybe be back on their side. Because if you're anyone like me who was a huge DC fan but has been let down, you know, these past movies, and so, you know, I would think you would still want hope for something. So I'm excited for him to be in the movie. Then I even hear a rumor, I don't know if this is 100% confirmed yet, I don't think it is, but they were talking about Matthew McConaughey being Harvey Dent. Now, what interests me is now even hearing about Harvey Dent, I'm very curious of what the storyline is going to go in with this movie, on who's going to be the main villains, where they're going to go with this, because it obviously seems that there's not going to be Joker in this yet, which is good. I don't think they should just throw that right off the back. They need to tease us with something first to get us in. So if we're going to involve Harvey Dent, I can see Matthew McConaughey be Harvey Dent. Can I see him as Two-Face? I don't know yet. Matthew McConaughey is also a really talented actor, but since I feel like I don't personally have enough to go off of how he could do in such a, like, I don't want to say costume role, but you know, we saw in The Dark Knight, you know, the CGI effects that he did that were really amazing. And so some actors can really pull off having effects or CGI attached to them or something, and it seems natural and it seems it works for them. So I don't know how Matthew McConaughey will do in that sort of atmosphere, but just as a Harvey Dent, just like looking at him and thinking lawyer and like good all-American, or you know, whatever you want to say, the White Knight, I approve. I think it could work. So I just think so far, hearing the names that they're throwing out here, it could be interesting. I would just say to DC, you captured my interest. I'm gonna go see it. Just please don't disappoint me. I'm not gonna go in with the highest of hopes yet, but because of the Joker, I'm going to just be like, please, like, maybe it will do really, really great and we'll finally be in the right direction. Because now they finally kind of have their time for a spotlight for a little bit. Now that Marvel has finished Infinity War and that nature, and you know, they're gonna start to like kind of rebuild again with all of their like new Avengers, and you know, dealing with the whole Spider-Man situation that they have going on. This is DC's chance that if they really want to compete and get our attention back on board with the cinematic universe, this is the time to do so. And maybe finally, through looking at the progress that they went through, I think finally maybe now they can understand that they need to go to their dark roots. I think that's where they will do better as. I mean, I personally have always liked DC Comics literally for the darkness aspect. I liked how a little bit more grittier they were. Not necessarily more realistic, but there was some more reality to it that I liked, and it made me get attached to more characters. So I just want them to be able to do that again, and I think that's very fair to say. So I think, especially looking at the leading two things with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, I think as long as their chemistry works right and neither one of them go into a cheesy manner, which neither one of those actors seem cheesy to me. I mean, if you even go back to Twilight, I don't even think Robert Pattinson was ever trying to act cheesy. I think he was really trying his hardest to like make that character work. If anything, I think Kristen went in a more cheesy route. I think she just overall has an awkwardness to her that anyways. So I have a lot of hope, and that is as much as I have read so far in acting choices. I'll definitely update you guys if I find out anything more about the movie, but I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. See if you are as big a fan as I am, if you have as much hope as I do, or if you're just done at this point and you have given up all hope. But let me know what you think below in the comments. Do you think Robert Pattinson is a good choice? Do you have a choice in mind which you would have thought that could play Batman? Do you hope to see finally a collaboration with the new Joker with this Batman series, or do you think it's okay as separate? I'm very curious to know. Like I said, Batman, huge topic for me. I can talk about it for hours, so I love to hear other people's opinions and see what they think about you know, the series and the past and where it's going. So definitely comment that below. And yeah, and I hope that if you like this content and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. I'm slowly starting this channel, but I want to talk about more topics like this with you guys, and so I hope you will enjoy, and just subscribe, like, and share. And until next time, guys, bye.